Hey, what's going on, everybody? Travis Stoetzel here with TrainAggressive.com, and we are about to crank out an aggressive strength audio. I got my man Funk Roberts from Funk MMA, and I've been seeing this guy on YouTube for years. He was on YouTube well before I was ever posting any videos, and it seems like every time I go on YouTube and post up a new video, there's some sort of Funk Roberts MMA crazy-ass YouTube video on the side there, and I've gotten some ideas from him, and we've connected online for probably talked to you a couple years, reached out to you a couple years ago, and we've been kind of connecting every now and then. But I got you on the line, man, and looking forward to kind of digging into your brain and finding out how you have gotten to where you are today, and just want to find out more about your training, your lifestyle, all that good stuff, man. So thanks for taking the time out and doing this call.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm really excited, and well, you know what? You have also inspired me, man. You're a true badass. Love your training. Love a lot of your stuff. So, kudos to you as well.
Definitely, man. It's great to just do what you do. I mean, when you have a passion, especially for training. I mean, obviously you have a huge passion for it too. So. It's just fun, man. So thanks for the kind words, and let's dig into this, man. So why don't you just kind of start off by telling us a little bit more about yourself? How did you get started in strength training? Because you do a lot of MMA type stuff. Were you a fighter in the past, or how'd you kind of get into that, man?
Yeah, so actually I used to be a professional beach volleyball player. So I played beach volleyball, literally, and indoor volleyball all my life. So 15 years, played at the highest level, AVP, which is in the States, FIVB here in Canada. I'm from Toronto, Canada. Yep. So, my passion for sports and at such a high level, obviously it was always training, always trying to be in the best shape. So that sort of parlayed into after I retired. I just wanted to continue to train. Always had a love for bodybuilding and the bodybuilders, but I also did a little bit of Muay Thai before I started to play beach volleyball. So although I wasn't able to cultivate that because of volleyball, I still had that love, and MMA and UFC was getting really big, and I was really interested in it. And after retiring, you're kind of sort of sitting at the 9 to 5, you're not doing too much, spending a lot of time in the gym trying to get lean and ripped, but also wanting to rekindle that Muay Thai. Yeah. So although I got my personal training, started to personal train people, I wasn't really being able to reach as many people as I could. With personal training, you're only doing one-on-one stuff. And so with that, I started to do stuff online and start to reach a little bit more people. But I also dabbled in that Muay Thai and got back into the Muay Thai world. Which ended up having me fight a pro fight in Thailand. So doing the training from beginning all the way, 8 months of hard training, nutrition, the whole nine. I hated it, but being able to fight in Thailand, I won with a second round knockout, was one of the highlights. And I was able to live the life of a combat fighter.
Cool, man. And it's when people do things like that, like I did a bodybuilding show back in like 2006, but with fighters and stuff like that, I mean, it's stuff like that that takes a lot of discipline, commitment. It's about the journey to where you get in the end that makes you stronger, better all around, athlete, person, and as a whole. So I know those tough times, man, with like the diet and the training and
brutal.
The mornings where you don't want to get up and you just got to do it, man. So that's cool. But so ex-professional volleyball player, so you got to have some hops, man.
Yeah, man. I'm only 5'9", 5'10" in heels, and so my whole life I was, when I first started playing, I'm 44 right now, so okay. I played 20 years back. Wow. And when I started playing, volleyball players weren't that tall. The tallest guy was like maybe 6'4", 6'5". So being able to jump out of the beach or out of the gym wasn't too tough. I always train plyometrics, always doing that on the off season, just because as I started to continue to grow in the volleyball world, and as the years went on, volleyball players started to get taller and taller. I'm talking like 6'10",
Yeah.
6'11", and those guys are beasts playing at the exact same level that we were. So,
Yeah.
Plyometrics was huge with me back then. Strength training as well, but I was still doing that traditional stuff. And if I knew what I knew now back then, would have been over. But
Dude, I say that all the time, man. Like looking back when I used to play football and I was playing college sports and whatnot. I mean, the way I used to train, I'm sure it's similar to you. Beach muscles, bodybuilding, bench press. That was pretty much all it was, man. But yeah, that's cool, man. But I think we'll dig into a little bit more of that training here in a second. Something that I want to find out, just what you mentioned, how you were training out, like one-on-one training people. That's kind of how I got started too, and now I got a gym, and everything is like group based, so I can reach more people at one time. And then I got online the same reason you did, is so I can reach out and help more people. So with the stuff that you're doing online, what would you say your mission is with, or what is your mission behind what you do? I guess what are you trying to accomplish with that as you're like reaching out to people?
Yeah, man. I mean, I want to touch hundreds of thousands of people and change lives, and doing that, both physically with nutrition and working out, and just giving them the knowledge of people who want to burn fat and build lean muscle. And that's sort of where my focus is, helping people burn fat, build lean muscle, helping with nutrition all over the world, changing their lives. But and then on the flip side, for my MMA, because I do two things. I do, metabolic training, helping the regular person who just wants to, move away from the traditional weight training and cardio, for those who want to, burn fat, build muscle, get lean, get healthy. And I also touch the MMA world, where I do MMA strength and conditioning for athletes, which I saw was a huge void, because MMA is such a new sport.
Yeah.
So one of the other things I want to do is be able to touch 100,000 athletes, but teach them how to strength and condition for the sport, to get out of the traditional, isolation weight training that's not going to be beneficial for a sport that's so so many aspects of that sport, so many attributes that you have to have: explosion, power, speed, conditioning, cardio. You've got to train totally different. And my goal is to educate as many fighters as I can. 100,000 would be, next couple of years, to make them better fighters. Better cardio, better fighter, better conditioning, so they're not getting injured. So they're prolonging their fighting career, and so they have that conditioning and cardio. Yeah. So when they get in the ring, they're not dying, they're not getting injured as much. So I mean, there's two levels, but I mean, the MMA, I have such a passion for that sport, and I know by putting myself in that training, going from the very beginning, I was about 200 pounds when I started that training, and having to do the long runs, the sprints, all that training, the nutrition, getting into the ring, the sparring, the actual Muay Thai training, So putting myself in there, I know where they're coming from, and then being able to coach them through that is key. Definitely.
And I've got a couple MMA fighters that come into my gym, and I mean, it is just crazy. They're coming into me, I got to keep their sessions short, because sometimes they're out the door and they're getting in, 3 more sessions, or if it's at the end of the day, they've already got in like 3 or 4 different sessions with like wrestling, boxing, BJJ work and all that stuff. But one of the things, since you're talking about like MMA training, I guess with kind of the big boom just over the last couple of years, I mean, a lot more people have just been going into it, fighter or not. They're doing MMA training, but I think a misconception that people think in regards to MMA training is it's just a bunch of like interval training or like circuits. So can you kind of talk about, like, I guess, what MMA training really is, and the right way to kind of approach it?
Sure. There's, as I mentioned before, so many attributes. So let's start with the power and strength. You got to have power and strength. So some Olympic lifts, the big lifts, you got to take a day just to do that type of training where you're training compound movements, but explosive movements using the hips because it is an explosive sport.
Yep.
You got to train your anaerobic system. Huge, sprint training, hills. That's key. A lot of road work as well, because you're fighting at a high intensity, followed by low intensity, followed by high intensity. You've got to really train that anaerobic system. You also got to train the aerobic as well with long runs, because that's going to be key for your recovery between rounds, so that you're using that oxygen to recover. That's where the aerobic comes in. Bodyweight stuff is totally amazing. Again, being able to do, although you did talk about interval training, interval training is important within the in that aspect of doing.
Yeah, it's just
muscular endurance stuff. So resistance training, but for intervals, bodyweight stuff, flexibility. So a lot of flexibility training, especially if you're a BJJ guy. Flexibility in the hips, core and ab strength. So again, you've got to take some time, after training, after a session, and train your core, getting it strong, being able to take the kicks, the punches. But everything starts from the core, but also you have to have ab strength. It just goes on. So you have to find ways to be able to build training, strength and conditioning, along with having to train your BJJ one day, your wrestling the other day, your MMA on another day, right? So that's where the traditional training is not gonna help you.
Yeah, definitely. With all that, because MMA training, if you're serious about the sport and you're actually competing, I mean, like you just explained, there's a lot that goes into it. I don't think some people realize how, it's a job. It's people's lifestyle, when they're an MMA fighter, especially at the top level. That's what they do every single day, day in, day out. But for people, let's switch gears a little bit and talk about the people that you mentioned, people that are just, ex-athletes, and they're just looking to get into that MMA shape. Sure. Are you still having them focus in on the same stuff? Obviously not as crazy, with all the different types of skill training. But as far as the actual MMA training, like the intervals and strength work and stuff like that, what are you having people do for that are just looking to get shredded and strong?
Yeah, pretty much the same thing. I mean, if you're just sort of I do MMA 2 or 3 days a week, but I still have a job and I'm not going to fight, but I still want to be able to last in the ring or last in training. I still say, Mondays you're going to do your strength training where you take some compound exercises, some snatches, use a kettlebell, and really focus on that power and strength. And then the days to put in intervals. So you may do metabolic bodyweight training one day after one of your ab and core. You can always train here and there throughout the week. I would also say to get at least 1 or 2 days out and do some sprints. Sprints, 10 sprint intervals don't take that long to do, but the benefits that come out of that is huge. So I think throughout the week you can spread out specific type of training to help with your conditioning, so you can get through those MMA sessions or classes that you're going to. So I would still have them train. Maybe not as much, because obviously if you're an MMA fighter, you're going to have a lot more time. But throughout the week, type of training sessions within, as opposed to going to the gym and doing, Monday I'm going to do chest and buys, Wednesday I'm going to do legs and shoulders, Monday do power training and ab and core, Wednesday do sprint training and then a metabolic interval workout, and then Fridays go for a run, and maybe do some muscular endurance stuff. And you're getting all that training in, but you're able to still go to the classes and benefit from that.
Yeah, I like how you laid that out over the course of the week, because I think what happens with a lot of people, they get overwhelmed and they try to do everything within one training session. So, and as well as I do, you want to get in and out with your training sessions. About 60 minutes, maybe a little bit more or less, but people are doing like 2 hours worth of training in one session because they're trying to get in their power work, their strength work, then they got to do their intervals, and then and people kind of get overwhelmed. And for a top level MMA athlete, that might be the case. But for most
Sure.
people just looking to get in shape, that's not feasible for them. So it's good to have that little layout there. But let's go ahead and talk about nutrition, because obviously nutrition is a huge component, and this is where a lot of people drop the ball. And I mean, there's so much out there anymore with nutrition, like the paleo diet, intermittent fasting, carb backloading. And that's another thing, is people get so overwhelmed with all this different type of stuff. But like what I say to people is just listen to one source. Find a source that is obviously working. If it fits into your lifestyle, follow that one source. Don't try to follow 10 different things at once, because that's going to mix you up. But I wanted to talk to you and kind of get your take on what your nutrition's like, and I guess what you prescribe to people to do.
Sure, so I'm with you totally. I think you got to choose. There's so many things out there, and a lot of it works. I mean, if you focus on one thing and stay focused and committed to it, it's going to work. And if it doesn't work, you tweak it, or you kind of tweak it to whatever, and hopefully it helps you out and gets you to your goals. But for me, what's worked for me, and it's just literally, the good old, make sure I'm eating a source of protein with every meal. I usually eat 5 to 6 meals a day. So I'm kind of like the old school nutrition type person, where I do eat throughout the day, 5 to 6 meals. I do make sure that there's a source of protein with every single meal. I do make sure that I have my carbs after, especially after a training session, especially my starchy carbs. That's key to replenish the glycogen stores. I always all I drink is water, man. Like, I am the king of water. My wife hates it because there's bottles and there's water everywhere, but I don't drink anything else literally but water. Fats, healthy fats all the time. The only time I don't eat fats is after training, but other than that, throughout the day, man, and that's literally it. I don't need all that junk. I don't need processed stuff. I keep away from that. A lot of vegetables, tons of vegetables. Smoothies in the morning if I can. That's it, man. But I really try to. I'm always on the clock, trying to make sure that I get a meal or a snack, 2 to 3 hours. And again, I know it's old school, but it works for me. It's kept me lean and literally. A story I'm going to tell a little bit later is that I used to be 215. After I finished playing beach volleyball, I not ballooned up, but because I was doing a lot of traditional training, I went up to 215, but I was really puffy, and I always wanted to be ripped and lean and jacked. And I could never get there because I was always doing the traditional weight training and then cardio. But as soon as I changed my nutrition, because my nutrition was horrible, and I went to that, let's get the proteins, make sure I'm drinking only water and no more pop and energy drinks and that sort of thing. The carbs after training to replenish, to keep the metabolism going. Everything melted off, and my muscles started to get a little bit leaner. And I just feel better, way more energy, and that's basically my nutrition, man. And that's how I prescribe it to everyone.
And I like to hear that. And because, I mean, like I said, there's so many different things out there, and so many different things work. But I think it's key that look at you. You said you're 44 years old. Is that right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't guess that. I wouldn't guess that in a second. Like, I'd guess like you're maybe in your late 20s. I mean, but you're shredded. And really what it comes down to is just combining everything and putting everything together. So, like you said, it's just good, lean and mean nutrition, carbs right after you train. I mean, obviously you're not on an Atkins diet or anything like that, but and then it's just healthy fats and proteins the rest of the day.
Absolutely.
And when you combine that type of training, with nutrition, that's when you get, the magic happens, so to speak.
Unbelievable.
You can't have it with one or the other. You got to have the whole thing put together. So that's good.
Yeah, man. Well, for sure, 100%. Like, you can't out-train a bad diet. I always say that, but it's true. Got that from another fitness guy. But you put both those together, and the results are unreal. Like, so many people that I've had to, guys, just change, get out of that old school. And believe me, when you combine both of these and you stick and you're committed to it, it'll work. And I get all these before and afters and all these, testimonials from people every day in emails. It's like, I can't believe, I'm stronger, and I was afraid of losing my strength if I, did this type of training. It's like, are you kidding me? You're going to get stronger.
Yeah.
You're going to get leaner. You're going to get ripped. You're going to have more energy. Anyways, yeah, passion. I'm passionate, man.
Preaching. All right, man. So let's get a little bit into what you're personally doing right now. So, did you work out today?
Not yet, but I'm
Not
going to do
yet?
sprints today because it's beautiful and I'm seeing everyone run. So I'm going to do sprints today.
Good deal. What have you done so far this week? Well, I guess what is your training layout looking like right now?
Sure. So right now, because I'm launching a new program, I'm just, I'm doing a lot of metabolic training, so circuits. Earlier this week, I did, used my kettlebell, dumbbells, and did a 10 exercise circuit, but using a little bit of heavier weights. So compound movements, but I challenged myself using heavier weights. What's it? So, and yesterday I had one that lighter weights, longer intervals, and then today I'm going to do some sprint training and some core work. And then probably end off the rest of the week with maybe a body weight, and then rest and relax. But that's generally, I try to get my my metabolic intervals in, get my sprints in when I can, and then sometimes I'll go with the wife and we'll do maybe a leg workout, or just to change it up and do something a little bit different.
I like it. So let me ask you this: 2 words that describe you, Funk Roberts. What are they, and why?
Jeez, wow. 2 words, all right. Passionate and, I guess giving, I guess. And the reason why I say that is because I'm passionate about what I do, whether it's, MMA conditioning, strength and conditioning. I'm passionate about that. I want to learn as much as I can. I want to try as much as I can, and then the giving part of that is that I want to give it to as many people as I can to help them and see them succeed, because that's what drives me. When I even if one person says, "Hey, man, I love this workout. I tried it," that continues to drive my passion for what I do. So again, in the MMA world, or just in the regular fitness world, where it's helping someone to burn fat, build muscle, whatever, lean out. It's the passion I have to learn about metabolic training and nutrition, and then giving that information out. I love it. Like that's those are two good words that would definitely describe me for sure.
And I'm right there up there with you, and I totally agree. And that makes total sense, too, because, that's what you are doing, too. So I like it, man. Yeah. Let me ask you this. If you were to be sent away to a deserted island, you can only take one strength tool with you. It can't be body weight, because obviously we can train with body weight. But one strength tool, what are you bringing with you?
My kettlebell, man. My kettlebell. I will tell you now that is the number one piece of equipment that totally springboarded me into getting shredded. That kettlebell. That's where the kettlebell was that first thing the first piece of equipment that I used when I said, you know what, I've been spending way too much time in the gym doing this type of traditional training and cardio. And when my training partner used to say to me, Funk, buddy, like you train 6-7 hours a week. You train hard, and you still look the same. You still look big. You still can't get ripped. Like, doesn't that frustrate you? And when he said that to me, it was like, wow, that was the eye opener. It was like, yeah, I train hard. I come here and I do my bench press and what have you. I get on the treadmill for 60 minutes, 45 minutes, and do whatever. And I still am big and puffy. And as soon as that was sort of the aha moment for me, and I started using kettlebells and doing circuits and kettlebell training, and what a difference, man! My strength was unreal. strength in places I didn't know I had. A lot of dynamic power, unbelievable. So yes, the kettlebell, man, it's an incredible piece of equipment. Incredible.
And you know, if I was asked the same question, because people usually ask me, they ask me right back. They're like, "What would you bring?"
Yeah.
Kettlebell.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
that training tool literally changed the way I train. You know, we didn't have access to that stuff in college, and you know, when I was playing sports, and like we mentioned earlier in the video, if we knew what we knew now, go back in time. I mean, I would take a kettlebell with me, man. So I definitely agree.
for sure, for sure. Love that question, man.
All right, cool. So we're getting close to the 30-minute mark. I don't want to keep you too long because I know you're busy as heck getting stuff ready with your new program coming out. But
Yeah.
I love to do this every time. And as you probably know, I do a weekly challenge on my blog, which is called Thursday Throwdown. And so
All right.
I wanted to get a Funk Roberts special Thursday Throwdown. So you can come up with whatever you want. But as you know, as you've seen, the throwdowns, they're short, you know, high intensity, so it can be anything you want. You put it together, I'll crank it out. You can crank it out too. We'll post it up to YouTube like we always do, and I think this will be fun. So,
All right, man.
what kind of stuff can you put together for us?
I think it may be either a kettlebell or a burpee throwdown. You guys are gonna hate me for the burpee one, but I am known for my burpee finishers,
Yes.
and I think we need to throw that down. I'm gonna bring my wife in on it too. So,
Ooh.
so I think it may either be a kettlebell or a burpee throwdown, man. So get ready for it.
So yeah, what is it, man? So you tell me right now. I'll put it down. So when people are watching, they'll see what it is. Obviously, they'll see it when we post it up on YouTube. But what are you thinking, man?
It's a burpee. It'll be a burpee, 10x10 different burpee variations, 45 seconds each burpee, followed by 15-second rest. It's just it's a 10-minute sort of finisher. So 10 different variations of burpees. All right. 45 seconds of burpee, give you 15 seconds to rest, and then you go into another variation of a burpee.
Nice. Well, I'll wait for you to post that.
Sure.
So I can see the different variations, and then I'll crank it out once I see that, and then I'll link it up under this interview so everybody that's viewing in on this can check that out. But actually, I just did 150 burpees yesterday for time. So I'm hating you right now, man.
That's awesome.
No, that's good stuff. So before we cut out, man, why don't you tell us what you got going on as far as you got a new program coming up that you've been working on for quite a while. I know I talked to you a couple months ago about it. So what you about to unleash, man?
Sure, yeah. I've got a 10-week Spartan training system, 10-week program that'll help you burn fat and build muscle. It's all metabolic. It's 10 weeks of training. It's scheduled, structured. You have your nutrition. You have follow-along videos along with regular videos. You need a kettlebell, dumbbell, stability ball, but it's all based on what I call my M3, my metabolic muscle method, which taps into the progressive overload throughout the 10 weeks to help you stimulate muscle growth, tap into the growth hormones with metabolic training, power movements, compound movements, and of course, because it's metabolic, high intensity training with short periods of time, you're going to get that afterburn effect too. So you're really getting that triple header effect by being able to build muscle and burn fat. So for those of you guys who want to get lean, mean, ripped, guys or girls, doesn't matter. I put 50 people through this last year and got some incredible results. Those who finished got incredible results. So 10 weeks, I'm there with you for the whole 10 weeks. That's it, man.
Awesome, dude. I can't wait to check it out. So, yeah, man, do you got anything else you want to add in, man?
Just, the one last thing I always tell people is focus on trying to make yourself better, 1% better every day. Whether it's in the gym, whether it's at home, whether it's at work, try to learn something new every day, but try to make yourself better every day. Don't get satisfied with just being here, man. Every day, try to make yourself better. And again, it can be anywhere and doing anything, but just be better than you were yesterday. That's it.
Always improving. Definitely, man. Always setting the bar higher. And, I talk about that a lot too. So I definitely agree. But dude, thank you for taking the time again. I know you're busy, and I know people will get a lot out of this little interview. And how can people find you, man? If they haven't been to your website and you're using
Sure, man. So funkrobertsfitness.com, that's my fitness website. And then if you're a combat fighter, funkmma.com. So you can go to that site. I've got products. I've got tons and tons of workouts, nutrition on both ends. So funkrobertsfitness.com or funkmma.com. Those are the two big sites.
Man. Awesome. Well, thanks again, Funk.
Thank you, man. I
We'll go
appreciate
ahead
it.
and cut out. Again, Travis here with trainaggressive.com. Thanks for tuning in. Like Funk said, every single day focus in on getting 1% better, if not 2% better.
That's right.
All right? Keep training aggressive, living a 110% ham lifestyle. We're out.